I'm Julian Orff, 58 years old. Currently, I'm working in the neurology department of a hospital in the United States. Taking advantage of my daughter Mia's short study trip to England, I also decided to take an extended vacation and return there after a long time. I wonder how many years it has been since. I visited the hospital where I have many nostalgic yet painful memories from when I used to work there. I had a coffee at the hospital's cafe terrace where I used to take breaks. Even though 18 years have passed and the outside view has changed a bit, the clear blue sky remains unchanged, and it reminded me of those words suddenly brought up by my ex-husband.
I choose a brilliant child born to a 23-year-old woman over a child born to you at late birth age.
I was stunned by his sudden statement. What do you mean?
You're a doctor. You should know about the high risks of late pregnancies.
You're not talking about the risks to the mother or the childbirth itself, but…
Right. It's about the child's capabilities.
What? Why bring this up now? You knew this from the beginning when we wanted children. That's why we went through fertility treatments.
Well, sure. I wanted kids too.
Then…
Things have changed.
I don't get it. I truly didn't understand. We were a couple of doctors. I was a neurologist, and my ex-husband was a plastic surgeon. He opened a cosmetic clinic in London, marking a new start as a cosmetic surgeon, and at the same time, we began trying for a child. However, it wasn't easy, and after hoping for a child for 2 years, I finally became pregnant through fertility treatments at the age of 40. We cried tears of joy over the hard-won pregnancy, and my ex-husband became overly protective, saying, "Just until we reach a stable period." Seeing him like that, colleagues, friends, and our parents would jokingly say, "It's going to be even harder once the baby is born." Yet, a few months later, I found myself in the situation that led to the opening words.
You really didn't notice
The
things I've been doing outside. You knew, right?
It was impossible not to have noticed. However, the reality was that our family was about to grow. This can't go on, I fought, and often waited up late to talk to my ex-husband when he returned home. That day, I was waiting for him again. "Welcome home."
You're awake.
Yeah, I thought we should talk. Whether he knew my feelings or not, a dismissive "oh" was all I got in response. Today, I got a notice about a dad's class at the hospital. Are you coming? Most husbands are attending this class, so I thought Thomas would.
I'm not going.
Then
I'm not interested, so I won't go.
Not interested?
I'm a doctor, you know. I've seen countless child patients. I don't have any issues with kids. So what's the problem?
But raising our own child from a newborn is completely different. I'm a doctor too, but I have no clue about childbirth or parenting.
That's your perspective. I'm different. I'll be fine. So, I'm not going. Are we done here?
My ex-husband silently pressured me to continue speaking without hiding his bored demeanor, but I decided to ignore him. A colleague told me they think you're cheating.
What?
They saw you in downtown last week, walking arm in arm with a young woman, heading into a department store, and looking like you were enjoying shopping.
Really? So, This person was stalking me.
No, they just happened to be at the same department store for their own reasons.
But they reported this supposed cheating to you, right? Using the word cheating without knowing if it's true. If it's not true, that's defamation, you know.
What? That's not the point.
It is the point. You're suspecting me based on a story that might not even be true.
So, it's not true.
Who knows?
What?
Our clinic is all about beauty, so naturally, we have a lot of young female staff. Do you know how scary women can be to each other? To keep the peace, I have to treat everyone equally, and as the owner, it's my job to provide meals, shopping trips, and little breaks to appreciate their hard work, right?
So, you're doing the same with other staff members, not just the one the colleagues are.
Well, you could say that.
And you're neglecting our family for that.
Look, without them, our clinic wouldn't run. They support our income, which means they also support our household finances. Saying I'm neglecting our family because of that sounds a bit off.
My ex-husband smirked as he spoke. The words coming out of his mouth are disgusting. Healing time, what's that? Does sneaking into hotels count as healing time? The colleague also said they saw my ex-husband entering a hotel with a woman. The hotel mentioned was one my ex-husband often used for dining. The moment I heard it, I immediately thought, this is definitely cheating, but I couldn't say it. Probably, after opening his clinic, my ex-husband began doing these things secretly. Having money, my ex-husband started to direct it outward all at once. Since then, he has become less secretive, or whatever the reason. He spent even less time at home. And then, back to that opening statement. One day, when he came home, he suddenly called out towards the bedroom where I was.
Come out here.
I was puzzled and opened the door. An overly young, flashy woman with a smug smile was sitting on the sofa. Ah, this woman is the one, my colleague mentioned. My ex-husband responded to my faint murmur.
Quick on the uptake, aren't you? Yes. This woman will be my official wife from now on. And she's already pregnant.
So, what happens to me?
We're getting a divorce.
Do you really think we can decide that easily?
It's not on a whim. I have to take responsibility for her.
What about your responsibility to me?
Oh, you mean money?
What?
I'll give you plenty of money. There's the divorce settlement, after all. I could even give some to the child in your womb, a child born from an outdated womb. I'll give enough money to cover whatever little issues might arise. So just sign this and disappear, will you?
Saying that, he placed the already filled out divorce papers on the table in front of me. The woman smirked at me and whispered in a low voice, "Creepy." I couldn't stand being in the same space with these people, and more importantly, I realized it was utterly impossible to think about a future with my current husband and our home after such an event. After that, the process went smoothly. We agreed to involve lawyers in our discussions, and I kept the divorce papers. I didn't want to expose my unborn child to this environment for even a second longer, so as soon as the discussion was finalized, I quickly packed my necessary belongings into a suitcase and left the house. Then 18 years passed, and here I was back again, never expecting to have a chance encounter with this man. As I was lost in these farts, I noticed someone approaching my seat. The moment I turned to look,
Julia.
A voice I never wanted to hear again vibrated through my eardrums. There he was, my ex-husband, whom I hadn't seen since that day. It's been a while. I couldn't avoid greeting him, so I muttered something neutral. He took a step closer, chuckling softly before speaking again.
What? Came crawling back from America.
What?
You went back to America after that, right? Felt the limit and ran back to your alma mater for help.
His twisted smile, mocking in nature, vividly showcased his true character, reminding me of my last image of my ex-husband, and I felt a heavy weight in my gut. Just visiting here, my daughter came for study in England, and we came here together today.
You mean the child from back then?
Who else?
What do you mean? You're coming with her. What's wrong with that girl? Is she sick?
What are you talking about? I was speechless at his outrageous remark. The words about older pregnancy and choosing a brilliant child that my ex-husband had said came flooding back, causing my chest to ache anew. As I struggled to find words, footsteps approached from behind.
Mom.
Mia, you are here.
Who might you be?
She must have looked like a stranger accusing me of sitting down and shrinking. Mia, while keeping her guard up to the maximum against my ex-husband, checked out the man. My ex-husband, upon seeing Mia for the first time, gave me a curious look. I said to my ex-husband with a small laugh, "This is Mia North, my daughter, and also your daughter by blood." It's no wonder my ex-husband was shocked to his core. Just by her appearance, Mia was tall and had a beautiful, radiant look. If he had been keeping up with the rumors, my ex-husband would have heard about her. Carefully choosing his words, my ex-husband asked,
Mia North, by any chance? The one in the surgical research lab?
"You are correct. Mia North is temporarily studying in the surgical research lab." I couldn't help but laugh at my ex-husband's astonished reaction. The child he had abandoned in the womb had become an outstanding medical student over 18 years. Moreover, he had assumed the child from an older pregnancy would be inferior or even born with some minus. He could never have imagined that such a child would turn out to be a beautiful medical student. You must be surprised. You never would have imagined that the child of the woman you dumped by spouting words of inferiority to older births would turn out to be so perfect, huh?
That is.
And Mia, she's accelerated her education, so at 18, she's already a second-year medical student. She's finished college already.
What did you say?
I couldn't help but smile at my ex-husband's bewildered response. Not familiar with the American education system.
Shut up.
Thomas, you're the one who knows things, so I thought you'd know. I apologized lightly, and he is a proud man who bites his lip. Even during our marriage, he never hid his displeasure at my slightest remark, and his attitude hasn't changed even as he approaches 60. prompting a small sigh from me. This girl, you see, graduated from high school at 15 and college at 17. Being a single parent, she really did an amazing job. She's a daughter I'm incredibly proud of, both inside and out. That was truly how I felt. Mia is my pride and joy. However, the man in front of me couldn't help but hurl an insufferable insult.
PFFT. Probably just used your doctor's clout to squeeze her in somewhere, right?
Did you just say something that dumb?
You're a professor or something over there. With that kind of power, you could get her into high school, college, medical school, whatever.
Don't belittle me.
What did you say?
Don't lump me in with you.
Huh.
That's you, isn't it? Squeezed into the bottom rung of a fancy high school, barely making it into college, let alone medical or dental school. Your parents used their money to barely get you into a low-ranked private medical school in the countryside.
What? How do you know that?
Over there, I met someone who went to your middle and high school, and I heard all about it. The unexpected boomerang had my ex-husband frantically trying to find out who it was, asking, "Who told you?" I ignore my annoying ex-husband and take a sip of the coffee in the cup in front of me. I felt my wispy heart calm down a little at the familiar taste of it. One of the hospitals affiliated with the university is run by a classmate of mine. They wanted me to work at the hospital right away, but I was pregnant, remember? So I was asked to take on some university classes while working part-time at that clinic, and it just so happened they knew about me and asked me how Thomas was doing. Of course, I didn't know this person at all, but when I asked why they knew me, it turned out they had researched my background upon hearing that an excellent neurologist was coming, and that's how they learned about my marriage and my ex-husband. I heard quite a bit, you know, just because you're a bit rich, causing trouble, bullying, flaunting your money to play around with girls. My ex-husband's family owned land in the countryside, a so-called wealthy household. So, he had power and money in his hometown, and was an only child who could do whatever he wanted. He was just the typical bully type, just like in the comic books.
Who did you hear that from? Spit it out.
It doesn't matter who, it's well known, right? With your behavior, anyone from your classmates or friends would say the same, wouldn't they? I could tell he still wanted to say something, but I kept talking. That person told me, Thomas was just using you.
What?
At first, I was like, what are you talking about? But after listening, I understood clearly. You, coming from the countryside, and me, who had always lived in New York, meeting at a new workplace. I didn't know anything about you. To you, someone who didn't know your past, was convenient, right?
Fine. If it's out, then it's out. Whatever. Yes, we both started at a new place. I had just come from the countryside, and no one knew me. You, who also just arrived, especially didn't know about my lousy past or character. You were convenient for me. So what?
Facing my ex-husband's defiant admission, I pressed on. It's not just that, is it?
What is it yet?
You wanted a brilliant child, a child to negate your complexes. A perfect child is why you wanted me. No, you wanted my status and genes, right? You wanted the genes and status of someone the complete opposite of you, right?
What the hell are you talking about in front of the kid?
What? In front of the child?
This isn't something to discuss in front of her.
Does he still try to protect his pride? The shallowness of this man made me sick to my stomach. Don't worry, Mia knows everything.
Does she know all this?
She knows that you wanted a brilliant child and left me and Mia. She knows about your past and everything up to now.
What? You told her everything.
I simply told the truth. The father was gone before she was born, and she was raised by a single mom. It's not like there was nothing to tell. Besides, someone as smart as Mia couldn't be fooled anyway. Doesn't make any sense, echoed loudly through the quiet cafe terrace from my ex-husband. Then, having been silent until now, Mia began to speak.
You are not cool.
What did you say?
I'm asking if you realize how pathetic you look.
Huh? Why do I have to be lectured by a kid like you?
Because even someone you consider a kid thinks the way you live your life is pathetic.
He probably never expected to be told such a thing by a child. My ex-husband was clenching his jaw, his face turning bright red. Mia, observing him with a dispassionate gaze, continued.
Just like Mom said, I know everything. Not just about the past, but what's happening right now too.
Huh?
I didn't expect you to be begging the professor I'll be working with. Heard your clinic went under?
How come?
The decline in customers due to multiple failed cosmetic surgeries, fraudulent accounting, investment failures. Well, it all started 18 years ago, didn't it?
How can you even say that?
It all began when you left Mom and chose a new partner. Oh, wait, no. It started when you were blinded by the clinic's quick cash and swayed by women dazzled by money. Their presence made you greedy, leading to your downfall.
My ex-husband, hit right on the mark by an 18-year-old, turned an even deeper shade of red, eventually starting to tremble.
Really high on your pride, aren't you? Why not admit it? I'm a scumbag. A scumbag who ruins people's lives. That's why it's all coming back to you now. See?
What? Ruin people's lives? Thanks to my leaving, Julia became a professor in America, and you're attending medical school at 18, thanks to skipping grades. It's all thanks to me.
What? Don't be ridiculous. That's just the outcome, not thanks to you. Indeed, the divorce may have been a catalyst, but Mom being accepted into an American university so quickly was the result of her efforts. And my attending medical school after skipping grades is not only due to my efforts but also because Mom always cared for me. It's precisely because she always considered others and worked hard that so many good things returned to her. People who easily discard others and even destroy their workplaces end up in this pathetic reality where they must protect their pitiful pride despite everything.
Seeing Mia like this was a first for me. Though she could get heated in discussions due to differing opinions, I had never seen her raise her voice in anger at someone. She must have processed the stories she heard from me and others while keeping her emotions at times. But this was about her circumstances, not imagining she viewed and fought about me in such a way. However, even faced with Mia's undeniable logic, my ex-husband couldn't contain his emotions.
Huh? First off, you wouldn't even exist without me. It's all thanks to me, damn it. Wow.
How could you say that to your child?
It's okay, Mom, I don't mind. I am indeed grateful to have been born. But well, to be precise, that gratitude is towards the grandparents who supported you for so long.
What?
He probably didn't expect a conversation to turn to his parents. He looked as if he had been shot with a pellet gun, frozen in place. After our divorce, your parents actually kept in touch with me and cared about Mia. Well, you wouldn't know since you were cut off from your parents after the divorce, right?
Huh? My parents are still in touch with you. You must have influenced them to cut ties with me to get them on your side.
Oh, no way. They just saw through their son, who quickly discarded a smart and beautiful wife for a younger and foolish woman, led astray by appearances.
What the hell are you talking about?
You barely graduated from medical school you got into through money, struggled through extra-personal tutoring, and barely managed to get your medical license after repeating a year. Then, you somehow squeezed into a general hospital where you never stood out, overshadowed by senior doctors. Your pride couldn't stand that, so you nagged your parents into opening a cosmetic clinic for you. Then, carried away by the booming cosmetic surgery market. So it was a harem, surrounded by women. And then you got a nurse more than 20 years younger than you, abandoned your family, and you even destroyed the clinic you built with your parents' money for these women. How do you expect your grandparents to help with that?
Overwhelmed by Mia's rapid-fire recounting of his dark past without stumbling, my ex-husband was left sputtering, unable to form coherent words. He looked at Mia with a dumbfounded look on her face, and suddenly, either calmly or with a bug in his head, my ex-husband began to say the most outrageous things.
Then you reconnect me.
What?
You heard in the lab, right? About how I've been struggling to find work since the clinic closed.
Considering you're begging at the former workplace of your ex-wife, I guess you're having a tough time.
Right? Everyone's cold to me. So, you're excellent and promising. And if you, the daughter of Julia, trusted by everyone around, say you want to help your dad after an unfortunate separation, they'll surely lend a hand out of sympathy.
While making such abnormal statements and lamenting like a tragic heroine, Mia and I exchanged looks and sighed. How pathetic.
Why?
Resorting to begging a child you abandoned and never even thought of till now is just disgraceful, embarrassing, and insane.
Shut up. What do you know about me?
I don't know, and I don't want to know, and I never plan to understand. A doctor who can't empathize with others, only thinks of himself, and ends up causing medical accidents. I don't want to understand that. Anyway, it's ridiculous to beg Mia. Don't you have a capable child? Just ask them.
Mine's impossible. Barely managed to push her into a mid-tier private girls' school.
Oh, money again. Solving things with money again, huh?
What? If I solve it with money, there's no problem.
My ex-husband quickly became heated and defensive, his face turning red again as he relived his past mistakes. Fundamentally, such matters shouldn't be resolved with money. It's wrong for that thing to settle people's ends with money. But I think there are things that money can't solve.
What the hell is that?
Did you know one of your medical accident victims was a relative of my professor?
Huh?
I think it was the child of my mentor, Professor Linda's niece. They had surgery at your clinic and ended up with facial muscle abnormalities.
You mean that case I couldn't solve with money?
Those inconvenient cases you ran away from by closing the clinic seem to catch up. Medical circles are connected somewhere, somehow. I even got connected to your associates in America. Domestic circles. Whether my words were in his ears or not. My ex-husband, now pale and sweating profusely, froze, his eyes darting around and settled. It's okay. It will happen just as you imagine. Too scared to speak. No need to be scared now. It's your doing. If it's for your gain, others' well-being doesn't matter. Just try to maintain that dark spirit even behind bars.
Wait, I really am.
Your pick-up might be sooner than you think. You were too busy securing your own job to notice you were being pursued.
It's a joke, right?
With such a malicious story, it's no joke. You don't need to look for work anymore. You wouldn't be able to work anyway.
It can't be.
If you think it's a lie, then keep thinking that until it happens. Spend quality time with your precious family. After saying what I needed to say, I touched Mia's arm to signal it was time to leave. Mia, touching my hand back, smiled softly. After that, Mia returned to USA after about 2 months of medical study.
England is awesome. The food is delicious. People are kind. The teachers and seniors are respectful, and the discussions are interesting. Seriously, I might consider moving back to England in the future.
Having experienced an immersive exchange involving England and its people, it seems Mia has developed a different perspective and feelings compared to her occasional visits back home. That's great to hear. I'll have to send my thanks to the teachers too. Make sure you do, Mia says, grimacing at the taste of the overly sweet American juice she's drinking for the first time in a while.
By the way, he got caught.
Yay. While Mia was studying abroad, my ex-husband was arrested. The failed cosmetic clinic had been involved in several medical accidents that entangled medical professionals, which apparently dominated the news and talk shows in England for days. I am sure Mia heard or saw the news. Mia went to England to study and came back with an unexpected story. But this is what being 18 is all about. Up until now, she's been too mature, trying too hard. Using one's abilities is indeed important, but medical practice accompanied by humanity, as I deeply feel after over 30 years as a doctor, is crucial. Medical acts are meant to aid people's lives, and the main focus should always be on the person. Going forward, Mia will surely grow significantly as a person. As a parent and a senior in the medical field, I'll silently support her from behind and walk with her when needed. My secret fan activity, it seems, will be a lifelong endeavor.